You know what? It's no longer a valid question to ask if Scottie Barnes is Rookie of the Year. Obviously he is. The better question to be asking is whether he was snubbed from the NBA 75th anniversary team, and I think the answer would be a resounding, yeah, this kid is nasty. He's fucking filthy. Kid looks like he just rolled around in mud. Guy's so dirty. It's wild. That being said, I don't think there's a Raptors fan out there whose initial reaction was super overwhelmingly positive when we drafted this kid. Now that we're a few games in and we've seen both him and Jalen Suggs playing, I don't think there's a Raptors fan alive who is upset that we took Scottie Barnes over Jalen Suggs. And that's not a knock against Jalen Suggs. He's had a rougher start to the season, but he's still a good player. He's going to be good. He's going to be good in the league for a long time. But Scottie Barnes is he's electric. You know, he plays all out every single game. He's got crazy energy. He's athletic as fuck. He's good on defense. He's tall. He can make great passes. He finishes well. The jumper's still a work in progress, but he's been making some nice mid-range jumpers. He's been knocking down a couple threes. I think he's only made 2 in the season. Could be wrong. But he's definitely got some work to do. But I don't think anyone thought he was going to be this good coming into this season. Like, we knew that we drafted this kid, and in the future, he would be fucking deadly, but he's been playing so damn good already. I don't see any benefit to taking Jalen Suggs. And in the week 1 polls, fucking Chris Duarte was number 1 over him. I don't think that's going to be the case this year, or this week rather, because Scottie Barnes, oh my god, I can't talk right now. I swear to god, I'm not even drunk. It's Halloween, by the way. And we didn't have a single trick-or-treater, so that rocks. What was I saying? Both times the Raptors have played the Pacers this week, Scottie Barnes outplayed Chris Duarte by a long shot. He scored 21 points last night, and he scored 21 either the game before or the game before that. So he's been balling out. You know, he's been going crazy. And I've been making money off this kid because I've been putting money on the over on the points. And it always works out because it's always at like 14.5 and he's always dropping like 18, 21, 25. He's a good player. But speaking of betting on sports, I'm just really thankful that the Raptors have been playing well because my other teams that I'm a fan of have not whatsoever. And I actually just bet money on my football team to win tonight and they lost. They did not win. So I'm a Washington football team, formerly Washington Redskins fan. And tonight they played the Denver Broncos. And I stopped watching after they threw an interception in the red zone. And it was 17-10 for the Broncos. And then they turned it over. And it's just bad. I don't know if you guys care about football at all. I don't know how many people are watching this. But regardless, it was a shitty game. And I hated it. I hated every second of it. No, I didn't hate every second of it. But God, that team is just so frustrating. They should be so much better than they are. Well, not so much better than they are, but they should be better than they are. That being said, they're nothing compared to my NHL team. I have been a Chicago Blackhawks fan for a long time, and they're really making it difficult to be a Hawks fan right now. Like, let me tell you. Well, first of all, it's embarrassing on a number of levels because they're the worst team in the league right now. They have yet to win a game. They're 0-7-2. They've lost 7 games, lost 2 in overtime. And it's just, I don't watch a lot of hockey, but when I do, it's so painful. They played the Blues last night, and it was 0-0 with like 12:45 in the third. And I went on ESPN, and it said 0-0. So I opened up my laptop, pulled the game up. Right as I turn it on, Blues score. 1-0, they win the game. Fucking, like, it's awful. The Blues are now 6-1. I think. I don't even know if the Blackhawks are 0-7-2. I just saw that they lost 9 games to start off, and that's the second worst record to start off a season of all time. The record is held by like the Islanders, I think it said, back in 90-something, and they started off with 11 losses. So the Blackhawks are right on their tail. You know, we've got a good team. We got Kaner. We got Taves back. We got fucking Alex DeBrincat. We got Marc-Andre Fleury in net. We got overpaid Seth Jones. We got Kirby Duck. You know, we got some guys. but our defense is atrocious. And even with Marc-Andre Fleury saving 36 out of 37 saves or shots last night, we still don't put a single point up. It's fucked. Anyways, I'm way off topic. I need my parlay to go through tonight if I want to make any money. I bet on like the Lakers, the Nets, the Jazz, and the Hornets. So if they all win, then I get like $8. Or no, I bet $3 and I make like 14 back. So I'm really hoping that the boys pull through. We'll see. Anyways, let's talk Raptors, because the Raptors have been playing a lot better than the last video I made. And by the way, I want to apologize for my lack of consistency, my lack of activity. It's just I'm really trying to figure out how and when I want to do these videos. I'm deciding if I want to do it after every game. But the thing about that is, especially when it's like a back-to-back, so maybe I do back-to-backs in one video, I don't know. But doing it after every single game, it's difficult because I have to, first of all, record these videos. So that's, an hour roughly of recording, maybe a little less, maybe sometimes a little more if I have a lot to say. And then I have to export that video from my phone to my laptop. And then I have to take it on my laptop and I have to edit it. I have to cut everything out. I have to throw in little videos and shit. And then once I'm done that, I have to export it as a file. And then I have to export this file to YouTube. And then I have to, come up with a name and a description and everything and tags. And then I have to make a thumbnail. So each one of those exports, I'd say from phone to laptop is usually only about 20 to 30 minutes. But then from laptop into file is about an hour. Laptop to YouTube is about an hour. So it's a lot of time, and I'm not always just doing fuck all day, so I don't have a ton of time to spend doing this, unfortunately. But that being said, I do have a good time doing this, and I like making these videos. It's fun talking Raptors, so I want to be more consistent. I just don't know how often I can make these videos. You know what I mean? So I also always don't talk strictly about the game, so it doesn't necessarily have to be after every game. We're just having a fun time here, I hope you guys did enjoy my last video, though, the one about Shia LaBeouf. I had a good time making that video, and it seemed to get a lot more views. I don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe it's because it was my shortest video yet, under 10 minutes. That rocks. I don't know, but it was a good video. I think it's probably my best video yet. I don't know. That's just personal opinion. But let's talk about, when was the last time I dropped one of these videos? What was the last game they played? Because I don't entirely remember. It's been a while. I think it might have been like after they lost their third game, when they were 1-3. I don't even, hold on now. Let me just, oh my god. See, my laptop takes so goddamn long to connect to the Wi-Fi. Excuse me. I'm still waiting. There's a Buzz Lightyear movie with Chris Evans. What the fuck? Damn, 37 views on my Why Don't Talk to Shia LaBeouf video. Jesus. That's crazy. That's like triple. That's more than triple I've gotten on any other video. That's crazy. Oh, the last Raptors video I posted was about the season opener. Jesus Christ. I'm falling behind, guys. I'm sorry. Wow. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about then. That's wild. Brutal season opener was the last video. And then I think they went on to beat the Celtics in their next game. Right? They lost to the Wizards, and then they beat the Celtics, and then they lost 2 more games, and then they've won their last 3 because they beat Pacers, Magic, Pacers. Yes, that's it. Actually, let me keep this open. So the boys have been kind of rolling as of late, but they have been playing the Magic and the Pacers, so nothing crazy. I mean, who do the Magic have? Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, whatever the fuck his name is. And then the Pacers, I mean, they had Malcolm Brogdon in the first game, didn't have him in the second. They had Karis LeVert in the second game, didn't have him in the first. And they've had Sabonis both games. Boy, we clamped him up in that first game. Let me tell you, the defense on that guy was insane. It wasn't great for my fantasy team because I've got Sabonis on my team, but we held him to 9 points, only 4 field goal attempts. He scored their first 6 points of the game, then only scored 3 more. Didn't make a single field goal after that. So, crushing it. Brogdon was playing very well in that first game, but he got injured in the third quarter. I think it was early third or maybe late second or maybe late third. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but he didn't get injured badly. He just had a hamstring issue, and he did not play the rest of the game, so that was lucky because he really had the Raptors number. He was scoring on he went on like an 8-0 run by himself or something crazy, and it just wasn't great. But we managed to pull out the W, and we held Sabonis in check. Now, the second game against the Pacers, not so great in the Sabonis end. He played a little better. I don't remember how many points he had. He had 15 at half. Him and Karis LeVert combined for 30 at halftime. Not great. Karis LeVert was balling in that first quarter. We just weren't ready for him. Okay, first game we beat the Pacers 118-100, so that's a pretty good game. Second game was 97-94, so the Raptors, the offense fell off a little. You could just tell that the Pacers figured us out a little better. Magic game, that one was an intense one, and it should not have been. I didn't get to watch the Magic game, unfortunately, but I did watch Raptors in 30, and I did not enjoy the last few minutes of that game because the Raptors were balling. They were knocking down threes. I think they had a 12-point lead. It was 110-98, and the Raptors looked like they had it in the bag. And then the Magic went on an 11-0 run. Oh, I don't even know why my video stopped recording this time, but it did. Happy camper over here. Okay, so I don't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about, I know we were talking about the Raptors scores. Here's the score of every game since the season opener. So obviously the first game against the Wizards, they beat the Celtics 115-83. Smoked them. Curb stomped them. Against the Mavericks, 95-103 for the Mavs. Not a good game. Luka Magic went crazy. Him and Tim Hardaway Jr. looked like Steph and Klay Thompson out there. Fucking crazy. Raptors versus Bulls. That was a fun game. DeRozan scorched us, especially in the first and fourth quarter. Lonzo Ball had a good game. Zach LaVine didn't play great. It is what it is. Lost 111-108. First game of the two against the Pacers. Raptors smoked them 118-100. And then they beat the Magic 110-109. I don't know if I discussed this already, but it came down to the very last possession. Raptors were up 110-98. Magic won an 11-0 run. And then in the last few seconds, Gary Trent Jr. pokes the ball away, but he has to pull up from half court. Doesn't make it. Game over. Raptors beat the Pacers yesterday, 97-94, and you're all caught up. Now, what I want to talk about is some individual stats, starting off with the man I just mentioned, Gary Trent Jr., because we picked this kid up, and I think it was Alvin Williams saying that we picked him up because of his defense. I don't think that's the case. I think we picked him up to replace Norman Powell's scoring because Norman Powell was an unreal scorer last season for us. He just made every fucking shot he took. And Gary Trent Jr. takes a lot of shots, and he makes quite a few, but he doesn't make as many as I would like for the amount of shots he takes. So these are his stats. The main stat I want to point out is 2.6 steals per game. That's crazy. He is balling on the defensive end. He also averages 1.1 assists. Not great for shooting 12.7 field goals every game. He's shooting 35% from three. I'd like to see that get up to around at least 40. Maybe 38% would be okay, but he's got to get up. And then from 2-point range, he's only shooting about 39%. So he's got to start making more of these shots, but it is what it is. He'll get his touch going a little better here in the future, I'm sure. Moving on. The next player I want to talk about is Scarthew Bazarns, the Rookie of the Year, the future MVP, the next Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year, back-to-back MVP, Finals MVP. I'm calling it right here. You heard it here first. Before I start discussing Scottie Barnes, I want to mention one guy who I'm not going to talk about his stats. Splash Bandicoot, Svi Mykhailiuk balled out last night. I'd like to see him do that more often because he was looking great, knocking down threes, throwing down dunks. He had one filthy one where he went behind the back to get around the defender, and then he threw it down with his left. Filthy. Beauty. Love it from Splash Bandicoot. Svigi. Absolute stud. Now, Scottie Barnes. 2.4 turnovers per game. I'd like to see that get down a little bit, but he's a rookie. What do you expect? 18 points per game. What a monster. I think that might actually be the most among rookies right now, which is crazy because he's not even really like a scorer. He's more of a 6'9" facilitator, but he also averages how many assists? 2 assists per game. Now, that's not great, but I think it's going to go up because in the first 2 games he had oh my God, why am I hiccuping? He didn't have many assists, so I think that's going to start going up, especially once he gets more of a feel And you can't be averaging more turnovers than you do assists. That's long story short. 0.7 steal, 0.6 block. I think those will both go up too. That being said, he averages nearly 9 rebounds per game. Awesome. He looks like a big man out there, but he takes the ball up like a point guard. He gets up the court in 3 dribbles. It's crazy. He went coast to coast against the Pacers. I think it was the first game against the Pacers, or maybe it was against the Magic. He went up the court, got the rebound, went up the court in 3 dribbles, and threw it down. It was wild. 55% from the field, crushing it. 3-point percentage isn't great, but that's not his best trait. It's probably his worst one right now, and it's only going to get better. The next player I want to give some praise to is another rookie, and it ain't Justin Champagnie, it ain't David Johnson, it's Delano Banton, straight out of Rexdale, good Canadian boy. He's looking phenomenal. Now, with Goran Dragic playing like, I don't know, he's missing his left nut or something. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's looked bad to start the season. Not the Goran Dragic I remember Toronto playing against and getting fucking scorched by. But that being said, he's getting old. What can you expect? Maybe he's going to turn around a little bit, but he's got to be better if he wants to stay in the rotation because Delano Banton has looked lethal. Also, Malachi Flynn getting no minutes. I mean, he got a few in the last game, but nothing significant. I don't know what that's about. Maybe he just hasn't looked as good in practice. It is what it is. He's, 23? Delano Banton is 22, so it's not like a huge age discrepancy here. But Delano Banton, in his limited time, only 12 minutes per game in these 7 games. He's put up 4.7 points. He's shooting 50% from both the 3 and the 2-point land. And he's also getting 0.7 steals, 1.4 assists, 2 rebounds. He's looked really good. I mean, the stats obviously don't jump out at you, but if you watch the games, you know that Delano Banton looks straight lottery, like Matt Devlin would say. 46th pick, and he looks straight lottery. The next player I want to discuss is OG Anunoby, because after that incredible preseason, he's been pretty up and down throughout this season. He's had really good quarters. He put up 16 in the first quarter against the Magic. No, against the Pacers. First game against the Pacers. He put up 16 in the first quarter. I don't know how he did against the Magic. Not that good. But, no, he did not do that good because I put money on him getting over 17.5 points and he finished with 16. Not great. But he did put up 16 in one quarter against the Pacers, and he just looked crazy. He was making everything. He was knocking down shots, sidestep shots, step-back shots. He was dropping dimes to Kevin Birch. He was grabbing rebounds. He looked fucking phenomenal. If he could play like that every quarter, we wouldn't lose a damn game. But unfortunately, he doesn't. And this season, he actually averages less points per game than Scotty Barnes, believe it or not. It's 0.1 difference. He averages 18.0. Scotty Barnes is 18.1. So it's not a huge difference. I think by the end of the season, he will average probably more. But when Pascal Siakam comes back, that's probably going to go down. So we'll see. But he's also averaging 2.9 fouls per game. Not ideal. I'd like to see him stay out of foul trouble. But Scotty Barnes and him are both aggressive, strong, quick defenders. And they're bound to get called for a foul here and there. 1.7 steals per game. He's looked really nice on the defensive end. 2.9 assists, 5.6 rebounds. He looks like a beast out there. He gets into the paint and he just goes up and dunks it on everyone. I love watching OG play. Sometimes it feels like he's trying to do too much than he can, and he just ends up missing shots badly, but that's okay. He's developing still. He's only, 24? OG is a youngin'. He's a youngin'. I mean, he's a vet, but he's a youngin'. Feeling young, but they treat me like the OG. You know what I mean? Drizzy Drake. 37.4% from 3. Better than last season. Not as good as the season before, but that's okay. He's just shooting a lot more threes, a lot more difficult threes, a lot more contested threes this season. And once he really starts knocking them down, he's going to start rolling. 47% from the field. Not too bad. Moving on. We're going to talk about Drake. Fred VanVleet. Let's see what Freddie's nicknames are. FEV and Steady Freddy. Okay, yeah, we knew that. So, unfortunately, Freddie's still in the damn habit of doing what he did the last couple seasons, where he drives in the paint, throws up a layup, gets blocked. Every single fucking time. It's terrible. And you can't be doing that on a guy like Miles Turner. That guy blocks everything, let alone on a 6'1" guy. Oh my God. Like, Freddie, you can't... he's just got to realize that while he was tall back in the day, he's not tall now. Not in the NBA. He's 6'1", and that is small. 17 points per game for Freddie. He had a rough start to his season as well, but I think he's picking it up recently. He is now he was shooting 22% from three, I want to say, and now he's shooting 33%, so he's picked that up quite a bit, and I think it's only going to go up from here. He is averaging 7.3 three-pointers per game, and that's actually less than last season. But he was attempting 9.2 threes per game last season. That's crazy. But with Lowry gone, Siakam out, you have to be getting more than 17 points per game. Freddie's supposed to be our leader, and he needs to put up more points for us. He has been getting us 7.3 assists per game. He dropped, 17 assists in one game? That was wild. New career high. Good on him. Love to see it. 3.7 turnovers. He's got to cut down on that a little bit. He's also been averaging 1.6 steals per game, so him and OG have been stealing everything. And Gary Trent Jr., obviously, 2.6 steals per game for him. They've just looked lethal on the defensive end. That's one area where the Raptors have shined, is on the defensive end and causing turnovers. It's been really fun to watch because they get a lot of transition opportunities. Excuse me. I just burped into my wrist. I didn't know if I was going fist or if I was going arm, and I just went for the wrist. But yeah, the Raptors have been doing great, forcing turnovers and getting a lot of transition buckets, which means they haven't had to rely on their half-court offense as much, which is good because they're not a great half-court offense team. You know, Gary Trent Jr. can create his own shot. Scotty Barnes, if he gets in the paint, he can get a shot up. OG Anunoby can sometimes create his own shot, but he often just dribbles too much and does too many moves and misses. Fred VanVleet, other than that, don't really have any options to get a half-court bucket. But the Raptors, now 4-3, they're above 500. I really hope we can keep that going. I think they play the Knicks next, so that's not good. They're 5-1. That's a little frightening, but we can do it. We can beat them. I know we can. I really hope we can. I don't think we will, but I think we can. Who do they got? Julius Randle, RJ Barrett? That's like it, isn't it? Mitchell Robinson? He's not a scorer. Who the fuck they got? I don't know. I haven't been watching Knicks games. Derrick Rose is good. I mean, he's old, but he's good. Is Emmanuel Quickly even playing well this season? I don't know. Evan Fournier? Like, who gives a shit? I don't know. It'll be a fun game. I'm looking forward to it. And then they play... Who do they play after that? I was just looking at the schedule. I'm not checking it again. But whoever they play, best of luck to them. We can win these games. I know we can. Raptors are a good team. They're a fun team to watch. And I got high hopes for them. We're making the postseason, baby. Let's fucking go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you did happen to enjoy, feel free to stick around. Feel free to suck my left nut. And yeah, take care, guys.